We have a new method of soaking our chicken feed. Put one bucket inside of another one that fits well and slides in and out easily. And we put our organic non-soy in there, fill it full of water. This top bucket that has holes in the bottom of it. And that way, when we're ready to use it each day, we just pick it up, hang it on this little shepherd's hook plant thing, and drain the water out. And then we'll show you how we put it back together.
Think it's done draining?
So it's done draining. Finished draining the excess water out. But part of the reason that we do this is we believe that soaking the feed will remove some of the what's called anti-nutrients, the things in seed hulls that keep the nutrients in feed from being absorbed by the animals, makes it more digestible. And we'll take it out of that bucket and put it in one that we'll take out to the chickens. So we just use a scoop out a bunch of it, and then we will pick up the bucket and dump the rest in. And at the bottom of our 5-gallon bucket, we have a mesh strainer that keeps a lot of the seeds and things from getting on the bottom and clogging up the holes in the bucket. So there's the soaking bucket. You can see we've got lots of holes drilled in the bottom of that to let the water go through. And again, it sits inside this bucket, and so it stays wet and it continues to soak. And then we pick it up, put it on this little hook, and that gets it ready for us to use or to feed to the chicken. It drains out as much of the water as we can. And we'll just rinse all those off. And then we'll show you how we get it ready for the next day.
Let's go feed some roosters. I keep thinking something's falling off of me.
Chicken feed to each one of the coops. She uses her little scoop.
For 10 chickens.
And breakfast is served.
Oh.
We've had so much rain. Got a couple little spots where the chickens have their own little swamp going on.
Used to be a pond. How many do we have? 8 in here. Oh.
I think we figured out the best feeding ratio is about a half a cup a day per bird.
Oh.
Or maybe it's a cup per bird. I can't remember.
Never actually measured it out with cups. I just scoop it.
But basically, we just put out enough feed, and we kind of gauge it by if there's any feed left in there the next day.
Yeah.
And if there's feed left in there the next day, we know that we're giving that group too much.
A little bit too much.
We just cut it back a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, time to feed these girls. What are they doing?
Feeding the chickens.
Feeding the chickens. Here, tick, tick, tick. They found a worm or something in there.
Found something they like.
Tick, 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 tick. So there's 20 chickens in here at last count. Come on. So I know I give them just over a scoop, and then I'll come back if I have too much left after I feed those guys. There's about 20 in that coop as well. Then I'll come and give them a little bit more. but it's there.
So when you're feeding the chickens, just keep an eye on however much food you're putting out for them to eat. If they still have food left,
a lot of food left.
Yeah,
I mean,
a lot of food. There might be a grain or two here and there, but if they have a lot left over, you're giving them too much because they'll typically just eat what they need.
Yeah, but then you watch it in the day too, and if they run out early, you know, you haven't given them enough, so you can give them a little bit more later in the day. So they have stuff in their pans. And speaking of pans,
they change out their water.
Yeah, they've got it all. Shavings all. It's shaving heavy.
So
we had so much rain, we had to add shavings to soak up some of the rain, and it's just a mess.
So our watering system here is one of the rubber feed pans, and each time that we change out their water, we'll use some of the old water to rinse out the pan. But these 5-gallon buckets, and on the 5-gallon bucket, we have a hole on each side of the bucket. And when we flip this upside down in the pan, it just creates kind of a siphon and puts the water in there. But it's a very economical feeder.
We probably have this on some of our older videos. We've been using this for years.
Yeah, we've been doing this for a long time. We just thought we'd put this information in a video fresh.
This is how I do it because it's kind of heavy and I don't like losing the lid so I just dump some water in. That makes the bucket lighter to cartwheel in.
Yeah, it's nice when your lids are nice and tight and they stay on well.
Yeah, over time and
you flip the bucket upside down.
Get loose.
And they have 5 gallons of water. Well, usually, in this time of year, it'll usually last 3-ish days. In the summer, it gets
every day.
Almost every day. We gotta.
Oh, every day. In the summer, every day, and they get 2 waters.
Yeah.
It just gets too hot. They enjoy their food. They're not over here with this one. They don't know.
Yeah,
they'll come find it later. Let's get it in the shade. Okay, girls. Let me get you some grubbies.
They really like their grubs. We have our black soldier fly larva system taken down.
Hey guys, here I am.
Since we're working on moving our homestead to a new location.
That should be an interesting video.
Yep.
Coming up shortly.
Hopefully be moving soon.
Tick, 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 tick. Come on, tick, tick. He's pooping on the table again. There you go, tick, tick. Let me get you some grubbies. Come out later and check. There's a little bit left over in here, so we can check later. When it's time to see about lunch. There you go. There you go. Yes. Delicious, isn't it? Now they're only picking out the good stuff. It's like kids and Lucky Charms. You got your charms? I asked the granddaughters, which ones do you like first? How do you eat your Lucky Charms? And she said, I eat my charms first, and then I eat my Luckies. Oh, they're so cute. Okay.
Basically, we're just rinsing everything off and dumping out the the water from the previous day's soak.
Somewhere dryish. Nothing's dry.
Instead of making a big water puddle in one spot, kind of spread the love.
Spread the love. I like to put water in the bottom. Kind of attack it from both sides.
We'll rinse the little screen.
Yep.
You know where you got that screen?
Amazon.
Your friend Amazon?
Yep. We've had it
It's in the 5-gallon bucket pretty well.
Yeah. I mean, there's a gap. It fits perfectly in this bucket, all the way to the bottom. It's just perfect. But this bucket is slightly bigger, which, you know, we didn't want to put a 5-gallon bucket into another 5-gallon bucket just like it. That's a food grade 5-gallon bucket, and it's shaped a little differently, so it never gets stuck.
Right.
Yeah. But this works fine. You just put it down inside, and I hold it so it's equal. It doesn't go all the way to the bottom.
Sometimes when I get the weight of the feed in there,
yeah, the feed will slide down, but then it slides awkwardly, and if you don't get it, I can't do it because I'm sitting here talking. If you don't get it in equally, and it's hard because there's no handle, so you're just going to have to, there it goes. Just put it in as equal as you can so that there's no gap and the food doesn't get down to the bottom. That gets it all clogged up. Put the food in. So these feed buckets, feed is all the same. All the feed in these buckets are the same, however, or barrels. This barrel was like from the top. This barrel is from the bottom. So there's more powder in this barrel. So I always put a scoop from the top so that the water will filter down easier. It won't get it all matted up.
Don't forget your sunflower seeds.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there it went.
The tray slid down.
Yep, it slid down.
Slides all the way to the bottom.
Treats for the chickens. Well, may as well. Then let's do another one of these. About 3 scoops.
Put your lids back on. Critters out.
And vinegar's out there.
Splash of apple cider vinegar.
Yep, just a glug or two.
Yeah, that helps kick off the fermenting process. So when the weather's really warm, but when you come out the next day, this will actually be bubbling. In the cooler weather, it doesn't bubble so much, but the apple cider vinegar is good for your livestock anyway.
Put the water in slowly because it just takes a while to seep in and have the water down at the bottom because there's just less air down there to bubble up back through it. And I like to have plenty of water in there so it doesn't all just like soak up. Like when you're making, you know, when you have dried beans and you put water in there, you want to keep it above so that, I mean, a good distance above so that all your beans can soak evenly. Anyway. So you can see the air coming up from
see the air bubble.
The bottom.
Work their way out. We'll put the lid on it, and it's ready for the next day.
Yeah, I will. Break some of those bubbles. I'll check it too later when I come out and make sure there's enough water in there.
So, like we told you guys, we are moving, and so I started taking stuff apart in the barn, putting things on pallets. So, if you guys have any tips for moving an entire farm or homestead to a new location, we would love to hear those in the comments. So, We'll see you again soon.
Bye-bye.